In this episode, we travel from Freycinet National Park down the coast road to Port Arthur. We immerse ourselves in the historical beginnings of Tasmania.
Port Arthur is part of the epic story of the settlement of Australia. It was much more than a prison. It was a complete community, home to military personnel and free settlers. The convicts worked at farming and industries, producing a large range of resources and materials.
Described as a machine for grinding rogues into men, it was intended for secondary offenders, those who'd re-offended after being transported to Australia.
Punishment of criminals was changed from physical, which only served to harden them, to psychological. For example, imposed solitude, silence, and restriction of food were introduced.
The men to be imprisoned actually built it themselves during the 1830s. The idea was to provide them with skills that could earn them a living when they were free from prison. Meiji thinks it's quite spooky here and eerie, but I didn't get that feeling at all. It's just a historic site. There's buildings and things around, and I think it's a nice calm to it actually. It's good.
I think it's more about what happened to the prisoners and the way they were treated. That's why I feel a bit spooked out.
But I suppose it's true of any site in the world where you've got prisons going on, because in the 1850s that's just how people were treated.
This is the commandant's house. He was the man in charge of all the prisoners. As you can see, he has a really good view of all the prisoners at work.
Point Per Boys Prison was the first purpose-built juvenile prison in the British Empire, housing boys as young as 9 years old. Punishment was harsh, but the boys received an education that would see them through their lives.
Between 1833 and 1877, around 1,100 people were buried at the settlement cemetery, the Isle of the Dead. This island was the final resting place for military and civil officers, their wives and children, and convicts. This would be the first site of Port Arthur when the prisoners arrived, but also somewhere many tried to escape from. Some succeeded, some did not.
One of the most infamous incidents was the escape attempt of one George Billy Hunt. Disguising himself using a kangaroo hide, he fled to the mainland, but the guards on duty tried to shoot him to supplement their meagre rations. When he noticed them sighting him up, Hunt threw off his disguise and surrendered, receiving 150 lashes.